Security is the bedrock of any digital ecosystem, right? As soon as you get connected, you need security because you're now open to attacks. We're a customer obsessed company is an understatement. So we have a 400 million odd customers. We have to keep them protected all the time. Plus, we have a large B2B ecosystem around us where we have to keep the enterprises protected.
Initially, we and my co-founder, we used to actually go and drive and solve for it when we did not have a team. But now we've made sure we tie up with a lot of other players, like tow truck players. You can request it through the app or you can call the customer support. In the city, it's very easy. Our team can come and solve for it. On the highways, we have runners who keep on monitoring that highway, and a nearby runner can come and solve for any issue of the car.
Akshit, Nipun, excited to be talking to both of you because we are going to today touch upon topics which are very pertinent to everyone. If we are saying we are a country of 1.4 billion people, then it's 1.4 billion people ke liye mobility is important. Sustainability is important. Even if we want to look at it or not, we all have to look at it. EV is important as a technology, as the next frontier of technology for this large population. And how do we look at all of this in terms of data, in terms of security, everything we are going to cover today. So Akshit, tell us about Statiq and what's the story building there?
Yeah, no, first of all, thanks a lot for having me in this conversation, and I'm super excited to talk to you both today. I'm Akshit, and at Statiq, we've built India's largest EV charging network today with over 7,000 chargers that we have. And EV owners can find these chargers through the app that we have built. They can find them, reserve them, and pay for them through the platform. And we're a vertically integrated company, so we also make the chargers in-house. So anyone can buy it, set it up in their property, and people can find and use and pay for them. That is what.
What does it take to create this 7,000 network?
We started in 2019, almost when e-mobility began its journey in India as well. So it took a lot of grit initially, but I think with a lot of new EVs coming in, price parity with ICE vehicles, e-mobility revolution is happening in India, and we are ancillary to e-mobility. A lot of hard work from the team, a lot of building technology in-house, and a lot of support from both the investors and the customers.
Tell me, what's the sentiment that you see when it comes to capital infusion in EV businesses?
The traditional VCs, they are on the edge because they've not seen something like this before. They've mostly invested in software companies. And that is why, and YC took a bet on us, which was very surprising.
Oh, that was the first bet?
Yes, that was the first bet they took in EVs and EVs in India. So that was surprising. But then we started talking to a lot of VCs. They were on the edge. They wanted to do something about it, but they were too hesitant. And the industry is also nascent, right? So then we raised money from Shell, which is a strategic investor, the oil company, because they can see that the shift is happening from oil to new kinds of fuel, right? And I still feel the VC industry is still on the edge.
But entrepreneurs like you, Akshit, will change that, right? You're scaling, you're growing, you are convinced, and VCs will follow. Nipun, what is Airtel doing when it comes to sustainability?
But first of all, just like Akshit said, so happy to be here. And I must also congratulate them because the whole EV ecosystem, I think, is can't be done if we don't have all the charging power stations, the whole infra. So they're playing a big part there. Sustainability for us, I think we are deeply obligated to have, a real sustainable environment and as a responsibility to society at large. We have our data centers, which are getting greener by the day. We have our towers, which are getting greener by the day. A lot of them are now powered by solar. Our data centers, the majority of the usage is now powered by renewable energy. In fact, in the next 5-6 years, I think we'll be net carbon neutral on our data centers, which is huge for, of the scale that we're talking about. And the same thing, we're also just happy to share, we're also powering the whole EV ecosystem in the country. We actually started a little before the EV ecosystem came in. We started with connected cars. And we'd kind of preempted that this is where it would go. So we'd had our platforms ready for when the EV ecosystem booms in the country. So today, with our platforms, we power, like, you can just track where the EV is. You can look at battery health, battery diagnosis. So you can reduce breakdowns for EVs. The tech is inbuilt into the whole EV. So you can just have alerts real time. You can update firmwares real time. So just powering the whole thing.
Now coming to you, Akshit, in terms of charging, so as a layman user, take me through the journey.
Charging is very different than fueling your car, because when you go to fuel your car, there's someone standing there. You can find the station, right? But a charger can be in the basement of a building. It can be anywhere. It's just one unit, right? And there is no one. It's manless. So usually how it happens is you find the charger through a platform. It could be Google or it could be through the Statiq app that we have.
How do I get to know about Statiq app as a user?
We have tied up with a lot of the OEMs. So all the OEMs, when you buy the vehicle, they tell you it's installed in the car as well in a lot of these OEMs. So on day one, mostly you'll know.
Okay.
So it's more organic.
Okay.
Organic. Yeah.
Okay.
So you find the Statiq app. You can search all these chargers. You can get a lot of information if the charger is being used, if it's available, and you can reserve it in advance before going there. And once you go, you plug the car. You maintain a wallet balance, and you can just start charging through the app. And that's as simple as that.
So again, I'm asking, did you find a very proactive adoption from OEMs?
For OEMs, this is a new technology which is disrupting their existing business, right? So there have to be some newcomers who have to challenge them. So globally, it was Tesla, which led to the challenge to all these traditional OEMs. In India, Tata was the first one to challenge everyone else. So now everybody is picking it up.
Tell me, how are you seeing the adoption of EV? Because we are talking a lot about it, and EV revolution is our topic today. So it seems like a revolution. On ground, kya hai kahani? When it comes to the numbers, we are like still, at a very baby step when it comes to EV.
It is taking up really well in two-wheelers, like cargo vehicles, L5 vehicles, in fleets. Cars, it is taking up a lot. So you'll see a lot of Ubers now going Uber Green. In the personal segment, it's a matter of fact about price parity of the vehicle, charging infra, and basically the adoption of the new technology, which is happening. And I think the pace is right because with the pace comes a lot of new challenges, right? If the EV adoption happens too quickly, there are a lot of ecosystem that is not built out. Correct. So I think the pace is right. And today, EV, at least in the car side, is 2% penetration of the total vehicle market size, but it'll grow, I think, to 15 to 20% in the next 5 years.
And do you see a strong propensity among Gen Z to use EV vehicles?
They have a strong propensity, but I think it's more about. I've also seen a lot of older people actually buy EVs, and that is majorly because they adopt technology fast. So it is about who adopts technology fast, who can take that risk and stand out in the crowd, right?
Yeah. The question is that do you see that consciousness now and the awareness that I want to adopt clean technology?
Yeah, I think also one thing is clean technology, but people also feel it's cool to have a new kind of a technology. It drives better. So I think that are also very important factor that is driving EV adoption. Two-wheelers, mostly because there's almost price parity. Like you get Activa.
So about 15% there.
Only 10% difference in price, yeah. And also there are a lot of government subsidies, so it's almost same.
Nipun, I have a question for you. When it comes to EV, and if you're using an app and there are so many vehicles, so many charging stations, batteries, there's a lot to do with security, and there's a lot to do with, from the protection of the physical infrastructure to the protection of the information. How do you look at that? What is Airtel doing in that direction? Tell us.
Security is the bedrock of any digital ecosystem, all right? as soon as you get connected, you need security because you're now open to attacks. What we feel is we are a household name. We have 400 million odd customers. We have to keep them protected all the time. Plus, we have a large B2B ecosystem around us where we have to keep the enterprises protected. So Airtel actually taking, like we're being the pioneers here. For example, our spam solution, all right? All of us get spammed so much. So now if you would have noticed on your phones, you get to see a probable spam written on the phone call. It's AI-enabled real-time network intelligence. It's actually providing security to your customer. They know that it's a fraud message that is probably meant to do harm to them. So overall, I think we're embedding security in everything that we do.
So if I am, for example, a Statiq or a player in the EV segment, you have customized solution?
We would have customized solutions. We've adopted digital in a very, very big way in the company. For example, it's at the core of our strategy. I lead a team of 1,500 account managers. All of them are on a platform that we've built in-house. So everything from their onboarding to induction to trainings to them punching orders to them servicing customers, everything happens on one app. So similarly, we have solutions for our enterprise customers. So something like a Statiq, we would have similar solutions. So if they want to do real-time communication to their customers, we would have that. So, and if say some of their customers respond better on voice versus somebody responding better on WhatsApp, or what is the next best action for them? Do they have to make a sale? Do they have to make a service call? All of that integrated with real-time CLM across channels. So that's how we are adopting digital and helping enterprises reach out to their customers.
When it comes to customer centricity, like a big word, but customer first, again a big word, but customer is the king and queen. Tell us in practical steps, how do you do that, Akshit, with Statiq, and Nipun, how do you look at it? Because people have large cohort of data. How do you ensure that the customer is protected, the persona is understood well, they're served very well?
We're a customer-obsessed company is an understatement. I think there are three things that you really have to do. You have to listen to your customers to know the problem. You have to enable your frontline for them to make decisions. And then I think the real magic happens with people where cross-functional teams get together to solve for scale. So customer centricity for us is paramount. Now that's on internal to Airtel. When I look at my enterprise customers, also there we would listen to them. A very recent example of something that we've done is the companies shelling out high value goods from one place to the other. But there was no solution in the market for them to track it. You could track the vehicle, but you couldn't track the box.
Interesting.
Manufacturing companies have to send pallets, and then get them back and they'll get lost. There was no GPS solution to do that. We now have this really small device that lasts more than a month and you can just keep track of it. So the idea of it all, and it's so low cost that you don't even have to manage reverse logistics. All right. So the idea of it just came from listening to our customers. So if we keep listening to them, business models will evolve.
That's such a relevant and such a good example.
So in our case, I relate to everything what Nipun said. At least in our case, we've drilled down to three major things that we need to solve for the customers. The first thing is accessibility to a charging station, which means a charger should be as near to you as possible. The second thing is if you find this charger, it should work 100% of the time, right? There's no other way about it. And the third thing is it should be affordable to charge on, because that's why people are moving to e-mobility, right? For being customer-centric, we've enabled all of this through technology. We've built an aggregated marketplace for EV charging where you can find all these chargers. We've taken control over the entire technology for hardware and software to make it reliable to the end user and also to make it affordable. And not just that, we actually have our own in-house customer support team. We have not outsourced it. So if you call someone, it will be a static personnel answering it. And we have enabled them with technology to solve for anything that happens on ground. They can reset the charger remotely. They can unlock the gun connector. They can do a lot of things to help the customer on ground. If people go on a highway with their family, right, they do not want to get stuck there. We've tried to make sure that they do not get stuck and they have the confidence to drive with this new technology on the highway with their family, relying on static, right? And that is what we've tried to solve.
This is actually category creation from grounds up, right? The whole infrastructure, when a car shuts down, what do?
Initially, we and my co-founder, we used to actually go and drive and solve for it when we did not have a team. But now we've made sure we tie up with a lot of other players, like tow truck players. You can request it through the app or you can call the customer support. They'll either take you to the nearest charging station, or if the car is faulty, they can take you to a nearest service center of the vehicle. So we help you with that. We also have, like, in the city, it's very easy. Our team can come and solve for it. On the highways, we have runners who keep on monitoring that highway, and a nearby runner can come and solve for any issue of your car. So we've tried to take care of such issues, though they happen on ground, but we want to give any and every kind of service beyond just charging also to them in case their car breaks down.
Don't you think that one of the challenges for EV adoption, also one of the key challenges, was the charging infrastructure?
Now I see that perception mostly with people who have not bought electric vehicles.
Like me.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you have that anxiety, right? Because you're changing the entire ecosystem. But people who have EVs now, a lot of them would not complain about charging infra, because charging infra is actually really evolving at a very fast pace, and they're seeing that change happen. And I actually do not see a lot of people complaining about charging infra.
Because Statiq is there, no?
My office has one, my society has one.
कहना चाहिए Statiq वो change कर रहा है. And it's happening in the country through a young entrepreneur like you. And that's something that we need to call out and celebrate, that what's good about the Indian startup ecosystem and technology ecosystem. Nipun, I just wanted to understand, because today you as Airtel would have such deep insights on persona. I have been on Airtel forever. Somewhere it's like scary, the kind of intelligence one would have in terms of the behavior and everything. How do you empower with this kind of knowledge to your enterprise customers, people who come on your platform? For example, it could be Statiq, YourStory, or any kind of a business. How do you empower them with the intelligence that you have built over the years?
The first thing is the privacy of the customer data is paramount. All right, so we won't read into any customer data. But for enterprises, we can always help them with their own data. For example, let's just take a retail store, a big retail chain, or let's just take Statiq. All right, we have the technology today to tell them which of their 7,000 odd charging stations aren't well connected, because they will have to be connected to the internet. Like, they would get an instant alert that this is going to go down. They would get an instant, or say the owner of the car would get an alert that your battery is about to go off. So all that through the platforms that we've built and a very strong understanding of the underlying data, we can let the user know that this is the next best action for you. All right. So if I as a user know what I have to do next, or if the CIO of Statiq knows that this is where it's gonna falter, his or her life is gonna become really, really easy. Like today, versus a customer telling them that this station is not working. If the CIO knows beforehand, I think that's a
What do you do currently?
So all these chargers are smart chargers. They're connected to the internet, and we use Airtel SIMs for that.
All of them are then protected through very strong, secure systems. All right. So the customer data protection, like you talked about, is then taken care of.
How do you see on practical ground level the application of AI in your business and Nipun in yours?
Actually, using a lot of data science and machine learning in our business to identify the right kind of spots to install these chargers, because we have the data of where the utilization is happening across the entire network, where are cars being sold, where the movement is of fleets of the cars. So we can accurately, like, it helps us to actually manage the entire network, set up chargers at the right locations. That is one thing. Then we also have a lot of battery data, because we work with the OEMs and everything. So we help them optimize for how to charge to protect the battery life, to make sure the charging is provided in the right way. So that is how we using AI, like basically machine learning and data science in our business. And I think historically AI, a lot of fundamentals have been built, and now is the time for a lot of AI applications to be built. So we are also figuring out what more can be done with AI in our business.
Because you will also be getting so much of insight and intelligence, right, on the behavior.
So we understand how the behavior of the vehicle, we understand where people are moving, what's happening, what are the hotspots of charging, and all of that. So we have the data understanding of the mobility ecosystem at least.
For us, we are adopting AI in a big way. And we have to, because then we power it for all the enterprises. Like the spam thing is a very, very good example of, like, AI put into network real time. So that's one. Like internally, just as employees, we're encouraged to use some of these without naming any of the apps, but encouraged to use some of these because that is where the world is moving. So both internally and externally, I think we're using a lot of it to just be more efficient, I'd say.
I'd love to hear your views that there is this view that, oh, they're going to take away jobs. So there is this AI, what's wrong with AI? But also the more one is talking to businesses, entrepreneurs, there are a lot of practical usage, and AI is actually solving, making us all, if nothing else, more productive to do the right things. What's your view?
So I think it's bringing in efficiency for sure. Some of the use cases are yet to be discovered. Like he said, a lot on, they have a lot of data, but how do we really put it into the models and then AI starts to show its magic? It's booming for sure. For us, it's been great. Like, this the whole customer outthinking with, say, the spam solution. It's only AI that's enabled us to do that.
See, my take is on AI is like any other technology, right? And any other shift that happens. Take, for example, industrialization, where machines came and then people were not doing work by their hand, right? And obviously it replaced some jobs.
Yeah.
So I think definitely some jobs would be replaced, or they'll be recasted into something else. But as a whole, it'll help us all be more productive, save a lot of our time, and will help businesses like us do better things in a much efficient way. And the advice would be for people is to actually reskill, because some jobs actually will be recasted, is what I believe.
I think we all have to become prompt engineers.
In the short term, I fully agree with him, because that's what happens actually with every tech shift. Like, in the 2000s, like the same thing happened. People would adjust and new kind of jobs will get created.
Yeah.
Like when computers came, everybody had to learn how to email and use the computer, right? So
But I also think that's a great opportunity for India.
Yes.
Because we are a country with data, of data, and living and creating as much data. What's exciting as you build Statiq?
Personally, it's a very thrilling journey. Because the highs are very high, the lows are very low, right? So it's a very thrilling journey, and while you build this, you can actually see the change happening, and we are the change makers. So, and every time a customer charges, it makes me really happy, and that journey is beautiful.
I want to ask you, what got you to start this?
I really wanted to do something that makes an impact, and I loved creating things. And creating something that people use really excites me. So that is what got me started. And then we saw a gap in 2019 that a lot of EVs were coming in, but infra was not being built. So we saw that market gap, and me and my co-founder Raghav are basically passions and skills aligned. I'm an electrical engineer, he's an IT engineer. So we both started working on this problem with the market gap and the thought of creating something that makes an impact. I think that's what got us started.
And what's, like you were saying, exciting is the continued impact.
Yes. Every charger that we install is like a celebration. To me, it's a day that new charger is installed. And when someone charges it successfully, I just love the feeling.
Nipun?
No, I'm just excited by seeing the entire digital revolution. Like, and we are the ones who power it. So the more it revolutionizes, I think it just gives us that much more power to go and create an impact for the country. That's what's exciting.
What is it about the technology that you believe can be very, very purposeful in driving India's growth story?
AI is one of them, definitely. Clean tech is definitely one because we are a country of a lot of people with very less resources. So, clean tech in every space would be very purposeful. AI helping people be more productive with less resources, and historically, telecom connecting people, right? I think all of these technologies would be very, very important going into the future.
And it also creates an equal playground.
Correct.
One I'm really excited about is how technology would really shift paradigms. Okay, let's just take one example. Say the power sector in the country. All right, today we would see a lot of losses due to transmission, due to theft. All right, now with smart meters coming in, let's just take a step back. Where were we? We had huge power losses. We had cycles of great surplus and and then electricity gone for 4 hours because there'll just be so much demand. And then we would just have unbalanced loads all throughout the year. Now with smart metering coming in, all right, it's going to power to 50 million odd homes in the country. It tells you everything from a load balancing point of view. So electricity is not wasted. It's now prepaid, so the discoms are gonna not lose money. It helps you save on all the transmission losses. As an enterprise, I can view which device is consuming more energy, how can I make it more energy efficient, sensors put into all of it. So this is just one small example, but that's how it's gonna help India in a really big way. And if we can save some of that power and then use it somewhere else.
Akshit, this is to you. What's the big dream, ambition with Statiq? And if we have to track you 1 year down the line, what are we going to hear from you?
The big dream and ambition is we want to be the future of fueling. Any alternate fuel that comes up in the future, we want to be the one distributing it. It could be hydrogen, electricity in terms of chargers, or maybe even water, air, whatever, right? Because we know that the shift is happening from fossil fuels. So we want to create the largest company in the world, not just in India, to distribute these fuels. That's my dream.
May you go and fulfill your dream, because when you fulfill, then globally we can also say that the largest company in charging, all kinds of charging, is from India. Yes. Nipun, what's the big dream?
May all of them fulfill their dreams because we power all of it.
So that Airtel keeps on growing.
We keep on growing, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Shradha.